So let's jump into business ethics. I was walking around a demonstration. I don't remember what that one was about. I think it was after Donald Trump was elected in the US, but it was a demonstration in France, and the man was carrying a lovely sign that, of course, I took a picture of, teaching business ethics for years and years. Um, and it's very well written. I really like the calligraphy on it. It says, "Remember when ethics mattered." It's a very interesting question, and what he seemed to imply with his sign is that ethics doesn't matter anymore, and that made me think about a lot of things. And I want first to clarify what ethics is and what it isn't, or what it relates to, before wondering whether ethics still matters or mattered before. Um, and I'm not going to define ethics right away. I'm going to first clarify ethics by using other words that are very often used as synonymous. So very often we have this opposition between right and wrong, good and evil. I place the two because there's a subtle distinction that was made by Friedrich Nietzsche, German philosopher, 19th century, um, in on the genealogy of morals. I won't go into the details right now, but very often we think that ethics is about, is it right or is it wrong? And usually what it has is a reference to a stable set of values or principles that we refer to in order to arbitrate whether an action is right or it is wrong. This is the very definition of morality. Uh, Morality is about separating good and evil, right and wrong. And it's very polarized. So if you take the Ten Commandments, les 10 commandements, you have a set of 10 commandments and you just apply them, just abide by them. Thou shalt not kill. You should not kill. You don't kill. That's just what the rule is. And it tells you what's good and what's wrong. Killing is wrong. Killing is evil. Not killing, by opposition, is good thing. But right away, and I'm not discovering anything here, that triggered more questions than answers. Because, okay, thou shalt not kill. So on a day-to-day basis, it's quite easy not to kill anyone and to agree that you should not kill anyone, partly because you don't want to be killed. Then you have many, many questions. What about suicide? And a lot of deeply devoted Christians don't commit suicide or avoid committing suicide because that would be killing someone. But what about self-defense? If someone is about to kill me, do I have the right to kill them in order not to kill me? Because if I don't do anything, they will kill someone, and that will be wrong. Well, it's not me, but I'm letting them, so I'm participating to that. What about war? Is it sometimes right to go kill someone else in the name of, whether it's petrol or democracy, but, sometimes we go fight and we go kill other people, authorized and even forced by the state. Does that make it wrong? If I kill in the name of the religion that tells me not to kill, you can think of the extreme jihadists who kill people, and they have an entire rhetoric to justify it. You can think also about this very contradictory expression of the holy war, la guerre sainte. So the idea that you're going to go kill people, despite the fact that in your book it says thou shalt not kill. There's no asterisk. There's no little text afterward that say except in this, except in that. Well, if you read actually the books, there are a lot of exceptions that And then we get into the very tricky debates that are still very ongoing today. What about euthanasia? Someone is suffering, and if I choose to take my own life, do I have the right to kill myself? Or do I have the right to help someone die? And when does someone, how can you make sure that you're helping someone to die and that that's what they actually want? What about if they change their mind tomorrow? What about when is it legitimate? But also, if someone is suffering or someone wants to die, who are you to deny them of their request? If they're suffering and they wish to die, who are you to decide that they should not be dying? So it's a very tricky debate and something very lively, not in France for the moment, but it might come back. And in the UK, it's different. And in the US, when do you start living? I.e., how far along in a pregnancy can you get an abortion? If you consider that life starts at conception, soon as the spermatozoid goes into the ovaries, and then right after that, it's murder. And then do you think that the fetus is alive when it starts breathing? Do you think the fetus is alive when there's a heartbeat? Do you think the fetus is alive when it has cerebral function? Or do you think that the fetus is alive once it's out of the body of the mother? So the question is, if thou shalt not kill, if I cannot kill, when does life start? So when does it become murder? And these are very tricky questions. And I refuse, if someone genuinely believes that life starts at conception, I need to consider that. I disagree, but so me, I would turn to doctors to tell me and then build a law on that. But that was a debate in France not that long ago, and it might become a debate again. And it is problematic in Ireland right now, and it is a heavy debate in the US with the recent decision of the Supreme Court. So you see, as soon as you're trying to have a clear good and evil, what should I do? What is this law that I could apply? Well, it triggers more questions. And ethics is about these questions. It's about the gray area. Morality tends to be built on black and white. Can we apply these black and white rules or principles easily? Absolutely not. They are just guiding principles. You should not kill in general. That's something you should avoid as much as possible. But that's the pole, that's the end, that's the extreme, that's the horizon that can never be attained. Ethics is about the questioning that we have facing these principles, these moral principles in real life, day-to-day situation. Okay, yes, I should not kill, I should not steal, I should not lie. But sometimes I should lie. It's not part of the 10 Commandments, but if there was a murder 4 days ago next to my house, and if the police comes to me and say, do you have any information, and I do have any information, that would be wrong not to share it with them because someone died. But if it's 1942 in France and my Jewish neighbor are hiding in the attic of my house, and they say, are you hiding any Jewish people in your house? Maybe I should lie at that point. So it's, any kind of abstract principle always requires questioning and wondering and not being sure. And ethics is about these gray areas. If the rule is already clear and you should just apply it, there's very little to say about ethics. You could say things, but there's very little to say. So very often where people say, is it ethical? What they mean is actually, is it moral? Is it right or is it wrong? Give me a clear answer. There's another synonym that we use a lot, and is it legal or illegal? There is a lot of ethics in legality. It's an entire subfield of legal studies. But the laws of a country are a formalization of principles and values and rules of things that we are not allowed to do. The law is, for most of it, phrased as things that we cannot do, otherwise we're going to be punished. It doesn't say that we should not do it. What it says is that if we do it, we're going to get punished, and it explains how we're going to get punished. But the law is very often, most of the time, based on ethical principles and morality, but it's not phrased as a duty to do what is authorized. The law is telling us what we cannot do. So it's only telling us what to do as a negative of what we are forbidden to do. Of course, if you look at a set of law in any country, you will see values and principles embedded in them. But that's not what the law says. The law says that if I steal this, I will be punished by this. If I do that, I will be punished by this. It's telling me what I cannot do. But you see that it intersects with what is right and what is wrong, what is legal and what is illegal. But right now in France, we have a big debate of whether political resistance is acceptable or not. So we have this whole debate about the mega basin that are gathering water to help part of the agriculture to have water when there's a drought. And you have people who say, well, this system is bad for the environment and it actually only favors a few people who are, by their cultivating practice, the agriculture they defend, destroy the soil and destroy species. I'm not taking sides here, but what's interesting is that these mega basin, these ways of managing water, they are legal. They've been in front of the court, they've been authorized by authorities. But some people say, in the name of defending the environment, even if it's legal, I'm going to go there and I'm going to protest and I'm going to try to destroy it. And you have some people who say, well, because if these things are legal, you don't have the right to fight against them, which is a conflation of it's legal and therefore it's right. And you have other people who say, even if it's legal, according to another set of values of defending the environment, this is wrong, and therefore I have the right to fight against them. So you see, we constantly have debates about, even if it's legal or illegal, some people will argue whether it's right or whether it's wrong. So there's not a perfect overlap between morality, right and wrong, and between legality, legal or illegal. The classic example, of course, is that in Germany and in occupied France during the Second World War, it was legal to denounce every Jewish person that you could to the authorities. So it was legal, and then the question is, was it right? But that's an extreme case, and that's the classic case. But still, today, what do you do in the US when you used to have a right to abortion, and because the Supreme Court goes against and overturns Roe v. Wade, all of a sudden abortion becomes illegal in some states? And how do you face that? And some people say, well, I'm resisting and I refuse, and I will still help however I can people to get an abortion. So they consider themselves to be right, even though they are doing something that is illegal. And some people say that, for example, tax optimization is wrong. Well, not tax evasion, tax optimization, using the tax code to the fullest extent to pay as little taxes as possible. And that's, for example, what Total does. Total is a French company, but a massive multinational that does very little business actually in France compared to what it does elsewhere. So it pays very little taxes in France, if not nothing. But so far, it seems to be legal. But people still go down and just say, well, yep, it's legal, but it's wrong. So you see, legality and morality are two different things, and they are not overlaps, but sometimes they don't overlap, and sometimes they oppose with one another. Again, that's where ethics come to life. Ethics come to life when it's not obvious. It is a debate. It's an opportunity to think about values and about actions and about guiding principles.